So I recently watched The Sheep Detectives, and I have a little bit of mixed feelings about this one. There's a lot of things I like. There's a lot of things that I wish had been changed, and I'm not that familiar with the source material. Let me start with some of the positives. I actually think it's quite a beautiful movie in terms of like what it's trying to accomplish when it talks about loss and the ability to remember. One of the early scenes, and these are mild spoilers. I won't give away the whole thing, but you should know what you're walking into. So one of the early sequences, they talk about how sheep can willfully forget things, and that kind of runs through the background of the whole movie, because when they find Hugh Jackman's character dead, which I thought was one of the most emotional scenes I've seen in almost any movie, I was just totally moved by it. It's worth watching just for that beginning sequence. But when they find him, they're like, oh, it's too painful to remember him, so we're just going to forget him. And one of the other characters is like, no, remembering is part of it. You have to remember the people who were important to you. You can't just forget. So that's a nice message that runs through about how difficult it can be to move forward after the loss of a loved one. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. As for the mystery itself, it's just a cozy murder mystery. There's nothing too spectacular about it. It's meant for a younger audience, so all the clues are laid out pretty early. There's not really a lot of steps to solve it, and they kind of like tongue-in-cheek follow a cozy mystery book as their template, so it's done well in that regard. So I appreciated that. It wasn't, nothing mind-blowing. People aren't going to be like, oh my God, that was the best written mystery I've ever seen. But it's very good, especially for a younger audience. But thematically, it's really more so about keeping the memory of someone you've lost alive. So I enjoyed kind of how it all ties together. They do all the tropes that you would expect from cozy mysteries. And like I said, they call them out in it as they go. So if you enjoy that kind of stuff, it's pretty good. My problem with it, and I don't know if it's just me, but I talked about it with my family, is I didn't think it was particularly funny. Right? The trailer makes it seem like it's going to be a lot more comedic than it is. And there are jokes and there are sequences that are meant to be for comedy. I just didn't think the delivery was particularly good. All the emotional beats with the sheep, fantastic. All the comedic elements, though, they kind of fall short. Like, it's almost like, I don't know how to describe it, but when I was done, I was like, you can do these mysteries. You just got to punch up the comedy, because you need something to alleviate how heavy, because you are talking about the death of a beloved man, especially from the point of view of the sheep. So you need something to just kind of make it a little lighter. And minor spoiler, there's another death later on in the movie, not at all earned. I don't think it's earned at all. But again, it's another heavy sequence. But there's not really that levity that you're looking for, something to kind of like lighten it up and then get you back into the heavier things. Like Psych, for example, is a great idea. It's a great show, and it's always about somebody being killed, and somebody's always guilty, but there's a lot of jokes in there that kind of keep it light and fun and moving and punchy. This could have used just a little tightening up when it came to the comedy, because, like I said, none of the jokes really landed for me, and that was kind of a bummer. As for the sheep, they are by far the stars of the movie. The people in it, they do an admirable job, but we know it's called The Sheep Detectives. But one thing I wasn't expecting that I ended up really enjoying was how much agency the sheeps have in the investigation. They're not just like running around and then the clues are found by happenstance. They're active investigators, and like the police and the people like around them start slowly understanding that the sheep are helping solve the mystery. And I thought that was really funny and well done, and quite charming. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I really wanted this movie to be almost like a Wild Robots, and maybe that's on me for having that kind of expectation, but The Wild Robot was one of those movies that absolutely rocked me back on my heels when I saw it, and was like best movie I saw that year. And the trailer for this had a lot of charm. I thought it was going to have a lot of emotional beats, which it did. They just didn't all land for me. Beginning of the movie's great, loved it. End of the movie's fantastic, loved it. It's everything in the middle where the pacing and the timing, it just kind of doesn't come together for me. And I can't help but wonder, would this have been better as like a limited series? Now hear me out when I say this. So you have your beginning of each episode almost like, and I hate to say it, but imagine it almost like a Desperate Housewives style, where like the beginning of each episode is like almost a voiceover narration. You could have had like Hugh Jackman do a voiceover narration for each sheep that was going to be featured prominently in that episode, much like they did in Desperate Housewives. So you would have like, oh, Cloud, she's the most beautiful sheep, this and this and this and this, title drop, get into the crux of the mystery, have something that we've established now with Cloud be what sets the plot for this episode. And you could have done it because there's a lot of sheep characters in here, and I don't think we get to spend enough time with them, and I would have liked more time with these characters. And you don't have to do a whole lot, which is why I'm saying do something almost like a Desperate Housewives opening, where introduce the sheep, title drop, main story, the sheep from the beginning contributes to the mystery, next episode. Get it done in like 6 or 7 to 8 25 30-minute episodes, and you're good, right? Gives you more time to flesh things out, so that way when they kill a character later on, I have more of an emotional stake in it, because I really didn't. I just felt it was tacked on. That being said, though, it does get to end the movie with a little bit of it reminded me of Dragonheart. The ending in the movie reminded me of Dragonheart. And any movie that reminds me of Dragonheart can't be all bad, right? So my final thoughts on it is I really did enjoy it. It is a little long, like I said, and I wish I could have spent more time getting to know each individual character. They nailed the ending, though, and I mean, not for nothing. That's kind of a lot of the heavy lifting comes down to how you end the movie, and I think they did a fine job. I wish it were better, I wish it were better, but it could have been a lot worse. But if they make a sequel, I'll see the sequel. Anyways, that's all I got. Till next time.